What's up, guys? Welcome back. Highside Broadcasting coming back to you guys again here today as I log into our series. I believe we're at our first road course, Sonoma, as we are 15 races into the year. Almost, this will be the 16th one. After this, there'll be 10 races till the playoffs. Look like I have our field set already. So, a lot of new faces as this is our first road course. Be interested to see how the racing is, who's fast. We'll do practice here. Haven't done practice in a while. We'll do practice here. See who is quick. Shane Van Gisbergen, top 10 right now. He's one of the new guys. As Elliott, we have not seen Elliott be super fast this season. We haven't seen him have winning speed yet. He is the top of the board. Reddick, Larson, some other really fast road course guys. See who can get it done. Elliott's still winless this year. As we look down, Kimi Kobayashi making his first start as well, just like Shane Van Gisbergen. Chandler Smith is racing again here. Zane Smith is in. Jensen Button, Jimmy Johnson, Brody Kostecki. Brody Kostecki and Jensen Button making their first start. Jimmy's made a few this year. 42 cars in this field. This should be a fun one. As Chase Elliott is atop of the board still, only 0.004 of a lap time over Larson. This has been a long practice. Alright, we're not doing warm-up then. Bell to the top of the board. Then Larson, then Elliott, then Reddick, and Truex. Shane Van Gisbergen, the best running of the guys making their first start. He's 13th. I expect some guys to be fast today. Well, of course, there's always somebody who's going to be fast, but this has been quite the season so far. This will be the 16th race into the year, like I said. Reddick wins practice, and there's less than a tenth between the top four. Dude, holy crap. Only 5/10 separate the top 20, so a mistake cannot be afforded here. The whole field only separated by less than 2 seconds. So Truex at the top of the board. Elliott qualified 11th, not great. Brody Kostecki 24th. This Shane Van Gisbergen 9th. Kimi Kobayashi 29th, top 30 for him. Chandler Smith. And Gregson only down in 40th. Most weeks there is only 36 cars, so him 40th, not good. Not good for him. Alright. We are not going to do warm-up. Who had the pole? Reddick, right? Truex. Truex has been fast this season. It's only 23 laps here at the road course. Alright, this is going to be a long pace lap. We will probably simulate cautions if they happen. Here we are. A better view for you guys. Blurry. We've seen this a lot this year, Larson and Truex on the front row. Both of them have pretty many pulls combined. Byron hot as of late. Bell hot as of late. Chastain and Busch. Reddick, Keselowski. Been a good year for them. We go back to Shane Van Gisbergen. We haven't seen him this year. He's only doing one race, as Kimi Räikkönen will be in the 91 car for Watkins Glen. So this will be the only time we see Shane Van Gisbergen this year. Only 2 road courses on the schedule. I expect to see Kimi Kobayashi out there at Watkins Glen. So you guys can see him in the nice 33 car there. We'll go check out Jensen Button. Expect to see him again. Didn't qualify great for that team, but try and get it figured out throughout the day. Try and have fun with it. As, got to be coming up on the finish line here pretty soon. Looks like we're going through the S's, I believe. Is this the S's or is this that downhill turn? No, we're going through the S's here. Only 23 laps. I'm not sure if this will be a wreck fest, as we saw at Bristol, as that's been the only wreck fest this year, Bristol. This will have good racing. If it'll be boring single file racing, good racing like Michigan had great racing. Probably the best race of the season, if not one of them. Martinsville had good racing. Charlotte had mid racing. Charlotte was a mid race, I would say. But, some of these other ones have been Atlanta really good. So will this be a mid race? Will this be a boring race? Will this be a wreck fest? Or will it be a really good race? As these cars, a lot of space throughout the last corner. But then they get bunched up as we come to the line. Green flag. How will they do it? How will they settle it through the first turn? Which lane's going to be dominant on the restart? Larson sliding a little bit. Hanging to the outside of Truex. He'll have the advantage going into this next corner if he can stay there. He does. But then Truex the advantage in the next corner. Truex going to try and get clear. Still not going to get clear. Truex the advantage for the next couple corners. If Larson can stay side by side, this next corner should be... Larson gets clear through that one. Larson, big run there, going to get clear for the lead. Keselowski looking to have a strong day inside the top 10, runs 8th right now. Shane Van Gisbergen, again, the only race he'll run this year, running inside the top 10. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott trying to get inside the top 10 and work their way to the front. Bowman needs a good run, currently outside the playoffs. This might be the corner where we see some wrecks. Wouldn't surprise me. Watching everybody through this corner here. Looks like first lap going to be pretty clean. Got to get back on board with Truex running second. Larson out front. You see Bell, Byron, Busch rounding out the top 5. Lap 2 here. A lot of single file racing so far. We will see who has the advantage later in this race. As maybe there'll be pit stops, I'd hope, I would think. Does Larson run away with this thing? Can Truex get there, make the pass? I'm not sure. Elliott was fast in practice, didn't qualify well. He's outside the top 10. I think he's 10th, 11th, somewhere around there. Falling back to 12th. Started 11th, fell back to 12th through the first set of corners there. As we look through this field, nothing really too surprising here. Larson leading both laps so far. Still out front. We'll see what the intervals show here. Everybody looks really close to that corner, but then they get pretty spread apart after that. So Elliott still 12th, Blaney 11th, Shane Van Gisbergen still hanging inside the top 10. Hamlin looks like he missed out a good start there. He's up to 8th. Reddick's pretty good at these road courses. Hasn't won yet, but he's right around the cut. So a win would be nice for Tyler Reddick. I expected him to get a win this season. Expect the 8 car to get a win, expect the 45 to get a win, expect the 9 to get a win, maybe even the 12. Those are really the cars that haven't won that you kind of expect to see get in victory lane. So we will see if that happens. At all this year. Logano only seen victory lane 1 time this year. Bubba looks like the lowest driver with a win, winning the second race of the year. Hamlin, again, I've said it all year, Hamlin, Chastain dominated that race. Probably wants that one back as we come to lap 4 here. Untimely caution fell in the favor of the 23 car. But Bubba's maintained top 16 in points since then. He's like 13th, 14th, somewhere around there. So it's been a good year for that team, regardless. These guys are clicking off some pretty good lap times here. right along with the one here in 6th. So this one looks like it's going to be one of those really spaced out races. These cars are all really spaced out. Larson, pretty good gap. Not massive or anything, but a good gap over Truex. And Truex, a good gap over the car behind him. And it seems like there's about a 4 or 5 car length between each car, really, it looks like. There's really no more than that. You know, no gap that's insane. But right here's the battle for around 10th. These cars look like they might be a little closer together. Elliott looking like he's trying to make a pass on Blaney. Not been a whole lot of passing in this one. Chris Buescher struggling here today. The first car outside the cut line. He was inside the cut line, fell outside the cut, running 20th. This is not a good race for Buescher. He's been consistent at the road courses historically. Not a good run for him. Cindric, believe it or not, is one of his better runs. 19th. Not been a great year at all for the two cars. Cindric, I think he's still 29th, 28th in points. He's not improved any. It's been not a good year for him. Suarez and Gibbs, you guys see him here, 17th and 15th. Suarez and Gibbs, and Harvick right in the middle. Harvick has found himself closer to that cut line than probably what he wants to be. He's been mostly around 11th, 12th all year, and now he's closer like 13th, 14th, maybe 15th. Harvick trying to point his way into the playoffs. Suarez and Gibbs still are like 8th and 9th in points, and we're pretty far into this season, and it's just been super consistent out of those two cars. Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, just major consistency. They haven't really DNF'd, haven't had bad races. They just finish top 15 every week, and that's going to get you well in points, and even some top 10s, top 5s every now and then. They don't dominate. We don't talk about them a whole lot, but they're there, and they're looking like they're going to be in the playoffs this year, both of them, unless we get a bunch of new winners, or they just completely fall in the points. Ty Gibbs in the 54 for Joe Gibbs racing, and the 99 Trackhouse Daniel Suarez, guys that we expect to see around the cut line. They are comfortably in the playoffs right now, so we'll see if that continues. They're running mid again here today. Unless they get wrecked out or DNF, they're probably going to finish well and probably not lose any or many, if any, points to the cut line. So they, coming down, still pretty many races left. 10 races is a lot of time to do something good or bad, but they've been consistent up until this point in the year. I don't know why that would change. It's been a really consistent year for Suarez, for Ty Gibbs. And I expect to see them in the playoffs. And, you're looking at 8th and 9th in points. If they do that, you'll see them in, past the round of 16. We thought they'd be around the cut line. I figured they'd be around the cut line at this point in the year. And you're talking about not just making the playoffs, the top 16. You're talking about making it through the round of 12. Through the round of 16, into the round of 12. And now you're looking at the last guy into the round of 8 and the first guy out in the round of 8. So you're looking at Suarez and Gibbs not just making the round of 16, not just making the round of 12. Both of them, they're fighting to be in the round of 8 if they run this way in the playoffs. This has been a very good, consistent year. They're going to need to run better, I feel like, once the playoffs start. Once the playoffs start, I don't expect, running 15th. It's not going to get you to the round of 8. But the fact that they're 8th and 9th in points, in the playoffs comfortably, playoffs were now, they'd be deep into the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what those guys can do the rest of this season. As we talk, Bowman, he must have fell. Unless that's where he's been. That may have been where he's been. I think he's like 18th in points. Maybe 17th, 18th, 19th. I think he's 18th. Somewhere around there. Been a slow start to the year for Bowman. He's, Been a slow year for Bowman. Yeah, that's really all I can say. It took him the first 10 races or so to crack the top 20 in points, and since then he's been about 18th, and I wouldn't be too worried if he was only a handful of points outside the playoffs. As you can see, he's only 1 spot and 3 spots in front of Gibbs and Suarez, the guys that I expect him to possibly catch. They're 8th and 9th in points, but if you look at the guys that are around the cut line in the standings, Keselowski's in with a win, Logano's in with a win. I don't expect him to pass Harvick, though he's ahead of Harvick right now. Reddick, obviously super fast. He's just had a lot of DNFs this year. If he don't win a race, I expect him to be in the playoffs. So Bowman, I feel like his only chance to get in is either win, or hope these two fall, and he needs to run really well, and he can pass those two if they fall outside the top 16 in points, and then Bowman, that'd be his way of getting in. I just don't see it. I don't see him getting by Harvick. Harvick's been consistent this year. And definitely not by Tyler Reddick. And everyone else around the cut line, Bubba, Keselowski, they're in with a win. They're locked in. So Bowman, it's been a slow start to the year. He's picked it up as of the last 5 or 6 races, running about 14th, 15th, where you'd expect to see him. Talk about a guy that's around the cut line, but in with a win. Logano runs well a lot, but he's DNF'd a lot this year when he runs well. Obviously, he won at Talladega, his only win. It's never a good look when your only win is a super speedway, but I feel like Logano has the speed to go deep into the playoffs and maybe fight for a championship. So we'll see if Logano is able to do that. Elliott, top 5 in points. Really, really, really consistent. Not many, if any, DNFs or bad races. I expected him to be a little faster. He looked really good in practice and then didn't qualify well, and now he's running 12th, and it's looking like to be a midday for Elliott. So this is not what you'd expect to see out of Elliott at a road course, but Elliott, top 5 in points, hasn't won yet, and he's not really showed winning speed yet this season. He's not been, and same thing with the guy in front of him, Blaney, who's a little bit less consistent. Or, say he's the same amount of consistent, but Elliott's consistent top 5. Blaney, he's like consistent top 10. So you're looking at like 10th in points for Blaney, somewhere around there. And Elliott is like 5th in points. So, that's the difference. But neither of them have won this year, and I don't know if either of them's going to win this year. We talked about Shane Van Gisbergen. Obviously, doing a one-off here. Keselowski's like 15th in points, but he's in with a win. Hamlin, 2 wins, leads the points. Him and Larson have battled all year for the point lead. Reddick started off the year with a lot of DNFs. Took him a while to crack the top 20 in points. But he runs like this, 7th, like top 5, 7, top 10 every week. And he's just had a lot of DNFs. Reddick finally coming to life. Looking for another good day today. Chastain, 2 wins this year. He's been good. Kyle Busch, another one. Same with Elliott. I think Kyle Busch is 4th in points. He finally got by Elliott in points. Another one. Just like Elliott, super consistent. Running 5th right now, but he just hasn't showed winning speed. So we'll see where that gets him into the playoffs. Byron started off really slow. Took him a while to crack the top 10 in points, but he's been on a rail. He's been on a roll. Whatever. Multiple wins in the last couple of weeks. Same with Bell, but Bell's been good all year. Truex started off hot and has cooled down a lot, but runs 2nd only to Larson, who has multiple wins, but he hasn't won since the 3rd or 4th race of the year. So he won Daytona, and then he won a couple races like 3rd or 4th race into the season. He hasn't won since. So Larson leads, looking to get a win here at Sonoma. Almost halfway through this thing, lap 11. Kyle Larson leads this thing. Look at the back of the field here. I don't know, we shouldn't see lap cars. Maybe we will. I don't know, where are they at? I'm not sure we'll see lap cars. They're coming up on the first turn here. No, we definitely shouldn't see lap cars. Maybe at the very end it might be close, but Zane Smith not running well. Looking for a full-time ride for next year. Rumors about where he'll be. Same with Cole Custer right in front of him. Those two, obviously, definitely he was slowest in practice and not running well here today. He qualified not bad. He had to get past a lot to get back to 40 seconds, so not good for him. Cole Custer, Ty Dillon qualified last, got a few spots. Josh Bilicki, not too much to talk about. Gregson, Jimmy Johnson struggling here. Johnson, 37th. LaJoie's had a pretty decent year, 36th, not great for him. See Jensen Button in front of him. Priest, not good at all for him, 34th. Almirola has been abysmal for Stuart Haas this year, 33rd for Almirola. Stenhouse, Burton, Jones, some struggles here. Gillen. There's Kimi Kobayashi. Chandler Smith has done not bad in Colleague equipment. He always seems to find himself around Allmendinger, so you're not doing bad when you're running. And Haley, all 3 of them again. We see that a lot. All 3 of these Colleague cars together, so we see that quite a bit. Allmendinger's around 20th in points. Haley's around 25th in points. And then Chandler Smith, when he does run, seems to run where those guys are. There's Brody Kostecki, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe has been abysmal for him. Still the worst full-time driver in points. He's DNF still almost he's DNF like 7 or 8 times in 15 races. It's been horrible for Briscoe. But he does have some runs where he's running well. So 21st for him, I guess he can't complain. And then the top 20, Buescher, looks like nothing's changed. Literally nothing's changed. Yeah. Not a whole lot of racing going on here. I was excited to do a road course to see what happens, but this one, not been too much going on here. These top 4 have driven away a little bit from 5th Kyle Busch, and everyone else a little bit closer back there. These top 4 have put a gap on him. There's a big gap there. There's a big gap here. Top 4 are relatively close together, and then a pretty big gap back here. See a few seconds, but trying to figure out where that line is. Trying to figure out where this, how to turn this line off. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to get that line off of there. We will see if they pit. Imagine it'd be graphics. Maybe not. Been quite the race so far. Not too much going on. This is one of those where there's not a whole lot to talk about. Not gonna lie, a little bit of a boring race, but there are some races where I'm talking the whole time. And you got some like this. I was hoping road courses would be a little bit more fun, but these guys just don't want to pass. So I assume Larson's going to drive off with this one. He's not really leaving Truex, so if a mistake happens, but I'm just not sure that's going to happen. We'll be coming to 5 to go next lap. I'm not sure if they're going to pit. Typically they do. We'll see if they need to pit. I just hope they don't have to pit coming to the white flag. That happened a few times this year. Well, it happened at least once. Keselowski pitting, or Bell pitting, coming to the white flag at Texas. Keselowski ended up winning that race. That could have been Bell's 3rd win of the year, or if he has 3, it could have been his 4th win. He runs 3rd right now. Wouldn't be surprised if, I think Larson or, I feel like almost all the time, either Larson or Hamlin's leading. But I feel like whoever 2nd and 3rd is the same. It's Truex, Bell. Sometimes it's Byron or Chastain. I feel like unless they're leading, they're not really 2nd or 3rd. Truex and Bell, I feel like, are 2nd and 3rd every week. And it's either to Larson or it's to Hamlin. And this has been one of those weaker races for Hamlin. And this is going to allow Larson to get an advantage. Oh, we got Reddick and Chastain. There's racing going on back here. So a little bit of things that we can talk about here, right in this corner, unless I was seeing things. Reddick a little bit underneath the 1, got into the 1 a little bit, wasn't sure if he was going to turn him or not on exit there. They're going though, no issues, but going to watch this battle for a little bit. We got 5 to go, 4 to go this time. Caution comes out. It could end it with 4 to go. Maybe a 1-lap shootout, but it'd have to come out now. Still talking about pit stops. I'm still very grateful to say we haven't had a race end under caution yet. Super fun when that doesn't happen, and we knock on wood, hasn't happened yet this season. You know, with the 2002 format, there is no overtime. They run the race, and if it ends under caution, it ends under caution. So we'll see. Here we are in this corner again. Reddick not close enough to do anything. Coming to 4 to go. I don't know if anybody's changed positions since lap 2 in this race. Lap 1, they all kind of shifted positions a little bit, but since then, nothing. Hopefully Watkins going will be a little bit more entertaining, but well, it looks like well, never mind. That's where they were. Yeah, literally nothing's changed since the very beginning. I don't believe lap traffic's going to be an issue here. We'll check Larson and see. Oh yeah, definitely not going to have any lap traffic here. Another 10 laps, 7, 8, 9, 10 laps maybe. But coming to 3 to go here. Definitely won't have any lap traffic. Hopefully a caution won't happen. Shouldn't. They're all pretty spaced out, but no, we haven't had a race end under caution yet. Can Truex close the gap? He's there. He's close, and he's been there the whole time. But can he get there, and will he make a move, and can he make a move? 3 to go. He only has so many opportunities at this point to try and take this win from Larson. His top 4 are close, but I just don't see anything changing here. Coming to 2 to go. Can Truex get there, or is this Larson's? Larson's maintaining a decent gap over Truex, enough that nothing should happen here. Coming to the white flag this time. And if they don't pit, alright, they don't. If they pit coming to the checkered, I swear, it wouldn't surprise me if they do. I feel like this is a lot of laps for them to get on gas. We will see. As the lap times haven't fallen off too much. Best lap 113.8. That was a 114 flat, so they're really not falling off at all. Staying quick lap times here. White flag is in the air, and the 20's off the track a little bit. Blew that corner just a little bit. Keeps going, no issues. But the 20 car into the grass a little bit. That's the few mistakes and few interesting things we've seen in this one. Do we have damage? Can tell if there's damage on one of these cars. No? No damage? Go through, check everybody. Kyle Larson with the lead. Going into this final corner, doesn't pit. He should have it. Will he be the first driver to get his 3rd win of the season? Coming out of the final corner, coming to the line, led every lap, dominated Sonoma, and Larson wins at Sonoma. Another win for Kyle Larson. He got it done. He's been quick this season through 16 races. He's got 3. And here's the final results. Here we are. Really no changes here. Literally no changes here. Alright. Larson gets it done. Hamlin and Larson still close for that point battle. It's still a pretty good gap, though, back to Bell. And that's the 2002 standings. Again, we will check and keep track of the standings of today. And then we go to Daytona. Through 16 races, Briscoe leads the series in DNFs. 7. It's almost half. One away from half. You know what I'm talking about. 9 poles this year between Larson and Truex. 2 Hamlin, 2 Byron. 1 Chastain, Logano, and Reddick. Bell and Larson 5, Truex 4. And then laps led this year. Hamlin has led the most, then Larson, and then Byron. Byron came on strong recently, man. So a few drivers that have raced every race this year with no DNFs. Hamlin, Suarez, Kyle Busch, Larson, Gragson, and Jones. That's why those guys are doing where they are in points. But that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you guys at Daytona.